We're going to show you how to de-winterize and sanitize a 2020 Thor Tellaro 20 AT. The first step is to put some bleach in the fresh water tank, which is now, or should be, empty. We've got 1 ounce of bleach for 8 ounces of, for 8 gallons of tank water, and we've diluted it and put it in this watering can so we can get it into the vehicle. So that's the first step. Okay, so we've got a Camco water filter at the end of this hose. We're going to put this in and we're just going to fill the fresh water tank with fresh water from our well. Okay, the fresh water tank has been filled. Water was coming out the bottom of the van. Cap is back on. We're now put the hose on city fill, and we're going to flush out all the RV antifreeze using city fill. We're going to keep the water in our fresh water tank, the chlorine mixture, in for about 8 hours, and that'll make sure that that's sanitized, and we're going to run some of that water through the pipes in the van after we've flushed out all the antifreeze. Okay, so the next step is going to be to flush all the lines of antifreeze. So we're going to open this up and let it run until there's no more pink. We're going to do that for every faucet in the van. This is all going into the gray water tank. We're going to do it for both hot and cold. This is still pink. It's going to take a while to get all this water through. Okay, so the cold is now running clear, so we're going to switch over to hot, and you'll see it's going to start running pink again. One of the ways you can tell if you're clear is just fill up a water glass. If it looks at all a tiny bit pink, keep on going. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for the bathroom sink. Make sure that this plug is out so you don't flood your camper. Whoa! This is cold is running clear. Switch to hot. And wait till it runs clear. Shower. Just run it down the drain. Finally, I've made the toilet. We'll just dump the cassette when we're done, but it's running clear now. The next step is we're going to disconnect the city water fill, run the water pump, and run some of that bleach solution through all the lines to clear them out. So this is the Truma cabinet underneath the jump seat, and the only thing we're going to do right now is we're going to turn this valve, which is the freshwater tank valve, on. So the handle is parallel to the line. This will allow us to pump water out of the fresh water tank. We're going to pump some of this chlorinated water through all the pipes, hot and cold. We're still going to leave the Truma bypassed for now. And the last thing we're going to do is open up the low point drains one at a time and get the antifreeze out of those until they run clear. Here we go. So this is the water filter wrench. I'm going to use it to remove the canister. It may drip a little bit like you see. I'll get a towel, clean that up later. Doesn't have to be too tight. Just a little more than hand tight. This will be full of water. So I'm going to empty it out the back here. Dump it. And put this filter cartridge element in. This has been staying in the house where it's warm. You don't want this to freeze. So there's 2 gaskets. One goes there. This goes in. The other one goes here. And then the same process is repeated backwards. I'll show you an alternate method here in a second. if you can't get in to reach this with a wrench, you can unscrew these two fittings here and here, and the entire filter assembly will lift out, and then you can remove it. See, it's just hanging from a couple of screws up here. Now we're going to unbypass the Truma. There are 3 valves to consider here. This is the bypass valve between the red and the blue lines. Close it. There's a red valve. That's the hot water outlet. It's underneath this piece of tubing for the Truma. Turn it in line. Turn it on. And the cold water valve is hidden behind this panel here. Right here where this fitting is. See my hand? It's right behind there. You can't see it. I am going to turn that open. So we've drained out all of the chlorine water. We're going to flush the system now, fill the tank again with fresh water, run it through all the hoses, then we'll be done and we'll do our final fill for this trip. Okay, we filled the freshwater tank again, and now we're just cleaning out all the lines. Do this for each faucet, both cold water and hot water. The hot water may take a little while to actually run because you're filling up the Truma now with fresh water and rinsing out its tank. So just let it run. Well, that's a wrap. Just wanted to show you this little heater since it's going to be below freezing tonight. We've got the tanks drained. We'll run the tank heaters, and we'll run this heater inside the van to keep it above freezing.